Hello guys, and welcome to another episode, the last episode in fact of the Gran Colombia campaign here in Victoria 2. So it is the final episode, and really in this episode the only thing we're going to be doing is playing to the end date, and then we are going to take a look at the world, see what we have achieved, what the world has done, and yeah, just look at all the map modes, you know, the standard thing I like to do at the end of every Let's Play. Especially Victoria, because there are so many very nice map modes and stuff like that. Especially, well, culture, populate. Well, I don't know. We'll get into that when I actually get there. So, for now, we will just keep the game going. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually, what is it? About like it's over a week since I've actually played this. So, yeah, a bit late on the actual last episode here. But I decided, you know what, I just need to do this. I can't like just give up on a campaign right before it's about to end. That would be dumb. And I never did intend to give this up, or give up is also the wrong word, but more just, you know, play too much Total War, I guess. Also, I mean, I guess it's nice to get some Paradox games all in the midst of the, what I assume is going to be a rather large amount of Total War, Empire Total War to be exact. Haven't really well, I have some ideas for my next Let's Play in, Fuck off. I have some ideas for a potential next Let's Play, or multiple potential next Let's Plays in this game, but I'm honestly just a bit... like, a lot of these things require, you know, a lot of what I view as stress, you know? Why am I even bothering this? Well, let's get some, like, technology that I might be able to finish before the game ends. This thing. Like, I want to do a Germany campaign at some point. I definitely do want to do that. I want to test out the you know, the mechanics of this game and see how all of that goes. Sounds like good fun. So if I'm going to do another Victoria 2 campaign anytime soon, it's going to have to be a rather, you know, simple one. But I haven't really come up with any factions. So if you guys have any ideas, feel free to tell me in the comments. And don't tell me to conquer the world as Krakow, because I can't do that. How many times do I have to say that I'm not a very good player? It's like, it's funny, you guys in the... I mean, once again, I'm not complaining, I just find it a bit interesting. It's like how like you... like, in the same comment section, I'll get comments about how absolute crap I am at this game, because, well, sometimes I do dumb shit. And then I get comments about people wanting me to conquer the world as Krakow, or something else similarly difficult, I would argue. So, yeah. Alright, let's make sure we get the exact end date here, just so the maximum amount of stuff can go down. Come on out. And there. So, now then, let us take a look at the world. Now, are there any decisions we could do? We can do another systematic extermination, but I've already explained how that's just not useful. Let's do a purge, actually. That'll be fun. I don't know, sign the Geneva Convention? Nah, can't be bothered. Colonial army, totalitarianism. Yeah, if we didn't have this thing, we could have established totalitarianism, but meh, it's fine. Totalitarianism is not very good. Or, I mean, in real life it is not, but in this game I honestly don't really know. Let's change one last law, I don't know. We will... we could actually enact serfdom, that would be hilarious. And let's not even bother. I don't know, we could do like a last day of the game will abolish fascism, but I don't think I want to do that. Let's fuck with our people instead. Let's force... yeah, let's force our prisoners to work hard. Brilliant strategy. Austrian Chad. How on earth did this happen? Well, I guess we'll start with the political map mode. We'll start with looking at our glorious nation, man. It's been a week and I've already forgotten how glorious this thing is. Man, look at the borders. So good. Fucking beautiful. The Americans, well, they did have that period of being split up, but they were able to take back everything with the exception of Rio Grande and the Californian Republic. Canada, well, this thing always happens with Canada. Like, I assume there's some event chain that's supposed to make the rest of Canada join up with the the nation of Canada. But what always happens is that the British get a bunch of, well, British people into these provinces, and they'll turn them all into states. And I assume that's basically cancelling out the British ability to, transfer these regions to Canada. So I assume that's what's going on. I'm not entirely sure, though. Oh yeah, we got Iceland. That's interesting. The Danes still rule Greenland, though. So yeah, we got all the Scandinavian nations represented here. We got Norway, Sweden, Iceland, despite not actually technically being in Scandinavia. Although I think, well, I don't know, this is one of those discussions, what is what. There is that CGP Grey video, but I can't remember exactly how it's defined. Well, as a Scandinavian, the way I define Scandinavia is Iceland, Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. And then the Nordic countries includes Finland and maybe Greenland. And not at all Estonia, because Estonia cannot enter Nordic. Honestly, the only reason I'm against Estonia joining the Nordic countries is because their flag doesn't match. I also want to kick out Greenland because their flag doesn't match either. That's the primary point of the Nordic, cooperation. Is like we all have the same flag. It looks awesome. Let's be awesome and stuff. Anyways, let's look at Europe. We got the border gore that is Austria. Tiny nation that is Hungary. Banat is a thing. German state, right? Yeah, South German, accepting Hungarian. Rather interesting. Despite the majority of the nation actually being Romanian. Is that really the case? Yeah, I guess this is part of modern day Romania. So, fair enough. Yeah, Krakow is still a thing, interestingly enough. Stock exchange, good for them. So yeah, Germany is, it's the standard Germany, historic Germany. They've actually been able to Germanify this region pretty well. But we'll look at the ethnic or cultural map mode later, I guess. Romania is a thing. Except they don't own this province, which I thought there was things that should give them. The Russians are even integrating this place. Still, like, if someone in the comments tell me right now if you know how you get this modifier right here, because I know I said we were going to postpone this, but look at this madness. How do you get this magic? I want national assimilation. So tell me in the comments if you know how to get that. And I know it's not a purely Turkish thing, because I know there are, well, they were, well, no, they're still here. The Chileans are also rocking some of that national assimilation, so I don't know. I want it. Looks good fun. So yeah, Europe is pretty standard. I mean, well, we got this interesting France though. They lost that Great War, so Spain has sort of expanded up here, and they rule pretty much all of the. Oh fuck me, I don't remember what this mountain is. This the Pyrenees? Ah, this is embarrassing. I don't know. Oh well. Portugal standard, Gibraltar. All of this is totally normal. Yeah, we got Russia. So it's only, the border gore of Austria that's weird. Got British India, quite a unified thing. I guess the events that allow the British to annex these minor states have popped up quite a lot, it seems, because there's not a lot of substates left. Sin, though, the fascist dictatorship, really, of Sin, that's a cool flag. Has somehow been able to remain independent, though. Afghanistan is completely normal. Persia as well. The only thing abnormal with Macron is the fact that they have they're independent. And wow, that's a lot of slavery. Do they start out with that many slaves? Opium problem. Yeah, not a very good place, Macron. Slavery, opium. Yeah, foreign trade ports. Oof. Oh my god. Really, they're importing Africans? Dude, it's fucking 1935 here. Did Brazil ever ban it? Yeah, they banned slavery. Good. Well, I guess I should say much. I had slavery legal quite a while in this campaign. But it is banned now, so it is all good. Is that British people? No. Hausa. Okay, good. But yeah, we got our colonies. Let's take a look at Africa, I guess. Algeria. Is that a French nation? No. So some of these independent nations went... Wait. Wasn't Namibia independent, or was that in another campaign? Well, Rhodesia is a thing at least. That is indeed a European state. I gotta look at this. Yeah, and there's quite a lot of Europeans there as well. Fascist welfare. So might see a fascist Rhodesia. Interesting. Belgian Congo, which just looks all kinds of weird. I don't know how this happened, but it happened, I guess. Yeah, Africa is just horrible. It's like what? Sudan? Shilluk Kingdom? Whose ideas were these things? This is madness. The border gore is so real. And like this Irish stuff. I mean, how is Ireland even allowed to have colonies? They're a fucking puppet. Doesn't make any sense. There's actually, well, is those Maghrebi? No, look at that. Yeah, there's actually sizable Irish minorities in Cyrenaica. Yes, these provinces are actually integrated states in the Irish nation. That is kind of brilliant. Egypt has remained independent. Good for them. We got Beiyang China. No, I never really understood what Beiyang China is. What is the difference between Beiyang and nationalist China? Who knows? Oh yeah, of course we got Irish Vietnam. Fucking brilliant idea. Yeah, I guess it's the Great War, but I'm confused as to why the Great War peace deal with France just gave a bunch of provinces to Ireland instead of actually giving them to Britain. That seems like something that should be changed, because that's stupid. Got Thailand that has stayed, you know, pretty reactionary, but they did civilize, right? Yeah, so, you know, it's a thing. Laos has formed. Also pretty cool. British Cambodia. The Japanese have expanded pretty much as you would expect. Taking over Mayday. Yeah, taking over a bunch of stuff, colonizing it, not integrating it though. That's kind of disappointing of them. These minorities are definitely large enough to make these places states. So, I don't know. I guess the AI is not super smart. See, here we go again! They have the national assimilation thing. I want that. Look how brilliant it is. Creating glorious national uniformity. Australia, New Zealand, completely normal. Yep. The Dutch, I mean, the Dutch never took Bonaire. That's interesting. Nor did they take Bali. But other than that, they did the standard stuff. Spain was able to hold on to the Philippines. Arabia is a thing. They're not a puppet though, so they formed on their own or something like that. Yemen, yeah, all of this is not super interesting. Let's go look at some other map modes. Infrastructure is not super interesting. Diplomatic is fine, I guess. What casus belli do I have against Cuba? Repay Demt. Well, that's not very useful. Also, gotta love the way I was able to bump myself up to place 5. Who did I beat? Yeah, we beat France, the Russian Empire, and Austria. I think that's pretty nice. Revolt risk. Wow, really? Oh my god, our people are pissed. Whoa. That is quite something. Good thing the game ends now. Yeah, I haven't been very good at encouraging administrative efficiency. Only really in the provinces I started out with, and the one I conquered immediately, so oh well. Colonial, blah blah blah, recruitment. Yeah, we can recruit a much bigger army, but it's not super important. Argios, they are basically the same. This is interesting though. You can see how the population patterns are kind of interesting because you can see basically the provinces that you know, were Peru for quite a while are some of the most populous in the entire nation, if not the most populous. Yeah, it's over 1 million people in Lima. Probably means it's the biggest city in the nation. Well, yeah, it's even bigger than these colonial craziness. So yeah, the biggest. Yeah. That's. I mean, that's why you want immigrants. I sort of, you know, neglected focusing on that later in the game, which I feel like was a worthy sacrifice because we got ourselves some nice clay in return. I mean, you only need so many people before, you know, before it stops meaning that much. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day also, we were just able to conquer our way to more people, so I guess it all worked out. Slowly, North Andeans are getting assimilated here as well. Yeah, a lot of places have like huge populations. Wait, it's only 800? It says here that it's over 1 million. Oh, I guess it's only the people employed in RGOs, and the rest are craftsmen and stuff like that. That would explain it. So yeah, overall, pretty darn cool. I don't know if any other interesting population things happen. The Americans have, you know, a standard amount of immigration. California is quite populous, though. You can see they have 2 million people, which is very impressive. Maybe I should do a California Republic Let's Play. I don't know, though. That might be a bit... well, might not be too stupid. So now I'm getting fancy ideas here. Anyways, yeah, Europe as well. The populations are not abnormal. Yep, no. Populations elsewhere in the world are... whoa, what's going on here? Wait, why is this super red when that is not at all a big population? Yeah, sometimes the population map can be a bit weird. Guess it doesn't... I guess it just compares the populations to, you know, the neighboring provinces or something like that. I don't know exactly how that works. But yeah, moving on to the glory. Well, let's actually save culture. Ranking. Here you go. Now, did anyone not civilize Tibet and Bhutan, and some of the Arabs and some of the Indian puppets? So this is also completely normal. Relations, basically everyone hates us because we've been committing genocide, so I guess that's kind of okay. It's only the South American nations that like me. And Mexico. They too. Other than that, everyone hates me. So that's interesting. Crisis. Ooh. We might have been able to see a bass counter here, because there's definitely a crisis going on. Cool stuff. Yep, now let's get to the culture map mode. Oh man, glorious culture map mode. We did pretty well. We could definitely have done a lot better if we had, you know, had time to declare or to commit a bit more genocide. I mean, the fact that we weren't able to take the Amazon until... I don't remember exactly how late in the game it was, but it wasn't super early at least. Because it's quite easy to assimilate up the natives, but it's much more difficult to assimilate the Brazilians. It's actually kind of impossible, I think, because this is a core province of Brazil. But this is not a core province of the Amazonians and other immigrants. That's another reason why you see a lot more assimilation in the New World usually. It's because you get a bunch of immigrants and they don't have that modifier which keeps the Brazilians alive. So it allows for more assimilation. We also were able to pretty much completely assimilate the island of Hispaniola. So that is very nice. I mean, they're not absolute majorities everywhere, but only in Port-au-Prince is the minorities in any real presence. A lot of Germans though. Interesting that they haven't bothered assimilating. Oh well. Cuba, etc. You know, all this is the... ooh, Zapotec. I don't know if it starts out that way, but that's still kind of cool. The Dixie populations have been exterminated. I always find that interesting. Yeah, look at that. The Americans actually only accept Yankee. Is that supposed to be that way? Because that's a bit weird to me. Yeah, they have... well, not exterminated. Well, they kind of have. I mean, there are barely any Southerners left. There's like almost more Texans than there are just regular Southerners. That is kind of weird. Yeah, there's like more Dixies, or like a higher percentage of Dixies over in California Republic. That's stupid. Kind of interesting though, so I'm not complaining. Why would I? Anyways, of course we got the French loving the desert, even if the province is controlled by the Irish. I mean, the French can't help it, you know, they gotta live in that desert. Same for the British. That's why they like this area so much. It's like, ah, desert, we must live in it. We must farm a majority. I guess, you know, savannah, that's fine. But yeah, this whole southern part of Africa is pretty darn white, I guess we can fairly say. Khoisan, I mean, some cultures seem to be more resistant to assimilation than others, which makes sense. It makes sense that the... God, how do you pronounce this again? Xhosa? I don't know. Something like that. Probably not. Because, yeah, Basotho... because the Zulu, or Xhosa I mean, well, the Zulu as well, they actually have cores here, so that prevents their assimilation. But there are no There are no cores for the Khoisan people, for example, so they get assimilated. Portuguese have actually done some migration as well. So the Portuguese colonies have sizable Portuguese minorities. Kinda nice. Mongo. Or the Belgians, have they arrived? Ooh, I see some Belgian minorities. Yep, that's 2% Wallonian. Sudanese. Of course the Irish all over the place. Any Austrians? Yeah, South Germans. Like this landlocked colony has decided to be filled up by some South Germans. Brilliant. The Italians are of course hugging the desert. Everyone loves the desert. The Europeans have a thing for that, I guess. That's fine by me though. The Persians, I mean this is super standard. All this Indian content stuff is completely normal. Even the fact that this province is British seems to happen a lot. So I'm not surprised. But there are actually I mean there actually exists some British minorities though, so that's at least something. Seems like, yeah, the French minorities, there used to be quite a lot of them over here in Indochina, but that seems to have they seem to have been fading away here and getting replaced with the Irish, which makes sense. Well, those are not actually Irish, those are Asian Minor. I guess there aren't actually that many Irish here, there are really just... yeah. The French are still the main Europeans. Macau is Portuguese, Hong Kong is not British, well, controlled by them, but... no, look at that, Spanish actually controlling, having a majority here. Yeah, sizable amounts of Spanish colonists. They haven't actually bothered making them into states, which is lame, but you know. You can see here the Ainu have been able to keep one province at least. The other ones are pretty much 100% Japanese, close to anyways. These places are turning very Japanese. The Han are just standard, I guess. Any Dutch people in Java? No, not really. Well, no, there's some here. So they exist. They're a thing. Also, this province is super Portuguese for whatever reason. Yeah, the Portuguese have been doing nice on their emigration. So good on them. Oh my god, look at this multiculturalism. Those are a lot of minorities. What is their accepted culture actually? It is Australian, but there are no real Australians here, so who knows what's going on over there. Islands are the cultures of their respective colonizers. That is also quite normal. Well, some of them have been able to keep up with sizable local minorities. Polynesians, yep. But you know, it's a thing. So let's get on to Europe. And this is where things get weird. So a lot of this is kind of standard, but it's quite extreme though. You can see the Turks have just gone mental. I mean, we saw what happened in the Greek campaign. They assimilated a bunch of people despite actually being not the rulers anymore, but this time they were the rulers, and my god, have they put that to use. For some reason they still seem to not be able to turn these colonial provinces into states, which is really weird. But they're just not capable. But yeah, the Turks are going away. They should just rename the country Turkey already, because at this point it's basically a Turkish national state. Maybe with the exception of the Syria region, where the Mashrikis still exist to some extent. Even down here the Turks are all kinds of crazy. Yeah, even in Arabia, the Turks are roaming. Damn Turks. Yeah, the Turks. This is not a campaign of remove kebab. This is a campaign of the Turks removing all that is not kebab. Other completely normal stuff is the fact that the French are just trying to destroy anyways their various minorities, but instead of destroying them, they are just migrating to other completely random provinces. So now you have these provinces with a bunch of Picard people in them. This usually happens. It's kind of weird. Wait. Wasn't Brittany independent? Or was that a different campaign? I don't know. Can't remember. Don't get angry at me in the comments just because I forgot. You know I do that a lot. So yeah, the Russians have also done a bunch of assimilation. That's also quite normal. Central Asia have been quite Russified. Once again though, they are not making them into states, which is very weird. The Polish have also been completely wrecked by the Russians, which is also standard. Even in the German territories, the Poles have had a hard time this campaign. So yeah, the Polish nation, not very Polish anymore. Even the Ukrainians have had to deal with this a bit. I hate this pattern now. Like, why can't you Russify this area? Like, historically. Why are you moving over here? Stupid. Oh well. And there's actually, wow, okay, so we at least got close in this campaign to removing the Czechs. Usually they are able to resist quite decently, but this time they are becoming Germanized. Also notice how the colors for South and North German seem to be pretty much the same thing. Actually, there's a tiny difference. Yeah, this is North German. The South German color is basically the color of... Sorry for getting a bit close to the microphone there. It's basically the color of me clicking on a North German province. And this province is South German for whatever reason. And you got Polish minorities everywhere. That's normal. Okay, so interesting. So despite, like, historically, I guess, the... so yeah. Okay, well, that's interesting. A bunch of Wallonians have decided to ditch actual Wallonia and move to Antwerp. Yep. That's fine, I guess. But a bunch of Flemish people have moved up here. I will never understand the logic of migration in this game. And the Irish have taken over Cornwall. Or Plymouth, as it is called in this game. But I mean, their homeland is getting taken over by the British, despite actually being sort of independent, so yeah. They're not doing so well. I guess it's sort of the same situation that I was in when I was playing as Greece. The Hungarians are getting wrecked. I always dislike this. Like, historically, the Hungarians actually, you know, was able to assimilate other people. Which is kind of impressive when you think about how crazy their language is. That they were able to convince a bunch of people to learn it. Oh god, poor Slovenians. They are not doing so hot, are they? Maribor has been Germanized. Oh well, how do the cores look, by the way? Because I think this province starts out as a Hungarian core. Was considering a Hungarian Let's Play at some point, but I don't know. We will see. What am I doing? Oh yeah, cultural map mode. So yeah, Norway has actually been able to resist the assimilation of the Swedish, which is brilliant because that never happens in the base game. The Finns, on the other hand, are getting Russified. Oh well. I like the way this region actually becomes Russian though, unlike the base game where it just never becomes that. So, good stuff. I think that's it though. We have taken a look at all the map modes. I don't know, look at our industry. It's a thing, it exists. We were able to get quite a score by the end of it. Imagine if I was actually able to control it much earlier. We would have maybe been able to do some good fun. Yeah. I guess we'll just let the game end and we'll take a look at the ledgers and stuff. Because I don't think there's any other major things to look at. So yep, let's let the game... I think I actually forgot to do this in the Greek campaign. But there we are. And so we get an autosave there. I always hate how it autosaves as this thing pops up here. Oh, it doesn't automatically give me the ledger? No, actually I think it does. If I click quit. Yeah, here we go. Ledger. So there we go, the world in 1936. Number 5 we are. Barely past the French and barely past the Russians as well. South Africa is actually a secondary power. Interesting. Yeah, we're still a rural society though. Mentioned we were able to do quite good on the tech. I'm pretty pleased with this campaign. I feel like I've learned a lot, especially when it comes to like teaching your people to read, to actually get tech and stuff. Something I definitely did not do very well in the Greek campaign. Yep, overall very nice. I mean, not 100%, but still 79 is nothing to scoff at. When you start out with like I can't remember what it was, 5%? I don't know, it was not a lot in the beginning. So let's take a look at the nation ranking. Okay, so Afghanistan is the worst nation in the world, really? Total score. Okay, maybe, oh, never mind. AUSA, or, yeah, there's a bunch of nations under Afghanistan, actually. So, that's fine. Military score, well, this is not super interesting. Let's take a look at... Who had the most literacy? Iceland. Ah, yes, glorious Icelandic education. The Danish, Krakow, really? Paraguay. Really? 1 million people, 100%. That is something, isn't it? Corsica as well. And Germany and Norway and a bunch of the Europeans. That makes sense. But yeah, there's a lot of impressive here. Like Romania. Maybe I didn't do as well as I thought. Felt like it. Huh, Central African Republic? Really? Shit, I didn't look at that. Well, it's a thing. And here come we. Right under Hungary, but right above South Africa. So good on us. Look who had the most brigades. That would be... Really? The United States? Wow, they had twice the amount of anyone else. Despite not really being that great in population. Well, they're great in population. I guess we could look at that next. I mean, China, obviously, and the UK. But yeah, look at that. The Americans really... They got up there. But Germany too, despite only being within the sort of, you know, historical borders of Imperial Germany, they were able to outpopulate the Russian Empire. Now that is impressive. Really? Huh. Japan, Austria, Netherlands. Yep, well, this is completely normal. We were... Yeah, we are... Where are we? Ah, yeah, we're quite far up here. Wow, we actually had 19 million people. Oh yeah, total population. That's not the same as the number. That's not the same number as the pop. But yeah, that's quite nice. Leadership. Not super interesting. Here we go. Political systems. So we got the absolute monarchies of the world, constitutional monarchy. So the fascists of the world are the Romanians, the Italians, Paraguay, Sind, Uruguay, and me. Got some dictatorships. And a bunch of republics. All good stuff. Really, are there no bourgeoisie or proletarian dictatorships? Presidential? No, there's not a single communist nation in the entire world in 1936. That is interesting. Yeah, this is not super interesting to look at. I don't know. This too is not exactly... super interesting. Yeah, I know. I think we've looked through the most interesting provinces. Ooh, what's this? Who knows? I think it's just... Oh, sorry. I think it's just... I probably need to go eat, actually. But yeah, I think that'll be the campaign. So thanks so much for watching this campaign. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're looking forward to the next one. Feel free to suggest nations in the comment section below. I know I will do a Confederate States campaign and a Germany campaign at some point. Those campaigns, I have some like stuff planned for that. Like I'm not gonna overhype it, but basically I'm gonna be doing some slight exploits and stuff like that to try and get some cool stuff going. So I mean, I'm not gonna cheat. Exploits and cheating is different. So those, you don't need to suggest those, because those I will do. Other than that, though, feel free to suggest something, as long as you don't have too high hopes about my abilities to actually, succeed with stuff. Because, yeah, just don't expect me to conquer the world anytime soon. But the vast majority of you guys, I think, know that I'm not going to be doing that. So, yeah. But yeah, thanks so much for watching this episode and this Let's Play. And until next time, bye.